We've got a lot of new laws that have been taking effect. Several went into effect July 1st. We've got more that are taking effect August 1st. And this one is interesting. So if your pet passes away, changes medications, or simply doesn't finish a prescription because they don't need it anymore, those leftover pills can now help another animal thanks to a new law. So Minnesota has become the fourth state in the country to create a veterinary drug donation program, allowing eligible pet medications to be donated instead of thrown away. Here to talk all about it is Dr. Pam Johnson from the Minnesota Board of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. Johnson, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Okay, so what should people know? Explain this law to us and how it impacts consumers.
So the law is, it's got several safety features that people should know about. The first one is that the drug should not be expired. It should have no signs of any tampering or adulteration. It can't be a controlled substance. Anything that's addictive or some of the controlled pain medications are not eligible. And then it can't be a compounded drug. So it's important for the veterinarian who's prescribing these medications to ensure the safety of the drug before it is eligible for the donation program. And the program is also, it's set up on a decentralized system to where veterinary facilities or veterinarians themselves, animal shelters or pounds can volunteer to become a donation center. The Board of Veterinary Medicine will manage the laws regarding the program, but it's really up to the veterinarians to decide whether they want to participate in the program.
So who's poised to benefit from this new law?
Really, any pet owner is eligible to receive donations as long as there's a need, but particularly animal shelters and pounds, we feel can really benefit from this because they already have a lot of expenses that may not be covered. And if somebody wants to donate preventative medications to the pounds or shelters, that can really help them stretch their limited budgets.
I'm curious how this became outlawed in the first place.
Well, it just wasn't on the books. I think it was something that was overlooked. Safety is always a concern. So having these safety standards in law is really will make hopefully veterinarians feel more comfortable about donating it. But we just didn't have the structure or the support by the laws to allow this to happen previously.
So once the unused prescriptions get donated, is it veterinarians who are allowed to hand it out, or what are the rules around where the items must be donated and who has to be the ones to hand them back out to get reused?
Yes, so it's up to the veterinarian who's prescribing the medication. They're ultimately responsible to ensure the safety of the product and also ensure that it's prescribed properly. So it does come down to the veterinarian.
Interesting. What about things like heartworm prevention, flea and tick? Do those fall under this?
Yes, certainly. And if everyday citizens want to donate to shelters or to veterinary facilities, to animals in need, this would be a perfect example of someone that could contribute that way and help. Access to care is really important, and the rising costs of treatments and medications has sometimes pushed care out of the hands of certain citizens. So we want to do the best we can to protect animals, protect the public, and also ensure the access to the care that they need.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about affordability. The cost of veterinary care is astronomical. The drugs are expensive as well. I mean, there are plenty of people who can't afford it. I think my notes here say that 1 in 3 pet owners struggle to afford routine veterinary care. How much of this is about, being able to care for animals when, maybe those prescription drugs aren't worked into the family budget?
Yeah, we're hoping that this can help fill a need. Veterinarians deal with the same rising costs as everyday citizens. So the cost of managing a practice, running a practice, you have to purchase the drugs, the technology. It's all very expensive. So that contributes to the rising cost of veterinary care. We all have had those clients where it's just heartbreaking. They can't afford the medications they need. So I feel that this has great possibility to help those people out.
And what about liquid medications? Is it just pills that are accepted?
We don't have specific rules regarding the type of medication, but I will say that it can be difficult to know if a liquid has been tampered with. So, out of due diligence for the veterinarian, I would, advise them against accepting liquid medications unless it's in its original packaging and it's had tamper evident seal on it. It's really up to the discretion of the veterinarian how much risk they want to assume when accepting donated medications. Obviously, if it's in its original packaging, it's easy to tell if it's been tampered with. But it's very common for veterinary facilities to dispense medications in their own pill bottles because of the way they purchase medications. So that's where we say, pills are safer. It's a reduced risk associated with accepting those medications.
Now, will animal shelters and rescues be able to receive these donations and then pay them forward, for lack of better terms?
Yeah, they will. It's a voluntary program, so the facilities need to volunteer to become a donation center, and it's really up to them. It's serving your community. If since controlled substances are not allowed, the process of maintaining those donated drugs should be very, not much of an ask for a veterinary facility to do that, and they certainly can, if they have donated medications, use them for their clients.
Okay, very interesting. That law is now in effect in Minnesota. So go ahead and donate any unused, not expired prescriptions to your veterinary
Correct.
clinic. Probably a good idea to call ahead, make sure they take these donations though.
Yeah, check with your veterinarian before to make sure they're participating.
Great, wonderful. Dr. Pam Johnson with the Minnesota Board of Veterinary Medicine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.